Then here is a bug on a foot. And same here, it's very whiskers, thank you. It's very it's very fresh, so this was done, not long ago. It looks like it's just a few days old, or even, no, because of the red markers, this is just, a few minutes old. I don't know. I just think that it could be so much more interesting. But then again, that's a personal reference, a preference, or interest, and like taste, So I prefer things to be a little bit more realistic and colorful, of course. But again, this is not that sort of style. But since they are sort of doing their shadows in here and from black to skin, I just wish it was a little bit more interesting things in there. It's pretty simple. And I don't know. If you like it simple, then that's totally fine. And then you have the small details. Like if you look at the little feet on it, it's, I don't know, it doesn't look very super crisp here and there. The lines aren't perfect. And, well, but in general, an okay, good tattoo. Okay, then we have this, not little, but quite the size on a, what is the name of this again? Sticky, I call it. Help me with the name of this. My stream is always a little bit delayed, so it's going to take me some time before someone helps me with the answer. Sorry about that. Dragonfly, of course, thank you. How could I forget that name? I mean, oh my god. But yeah, this has that sketchy style that we have been talking about, and I think that this artist is more comfortable with this sketchy style, but he or she is not completely there yet either. I think that it's a cool sketchy style, but you can see that it's only has this sketchy style on the wings. It doesn't have it on the body. And for me, that would be a little bit weird, because then it's sort of two different styles. The body is one style, and then the wings have another style. So that confuses me a little bit. Other than that, I think the placement is cool, but I wish it was tilted a little bit. It could tilt up, like backwards, towards the lower back in a way, or it could be tilting upwards towards the belly. So just by, tilting a tattoo a little bit, because this is not a symmetric place on the body. Symmetric place on the body is like the middle of the body, front or back. And those are sort of the only symmetrical places where I think you should try to have a symmetrical tattoo, or at least very balanced, And I think this is a little bit too symmetric to be on one side of the tattoo. I think it would be cooler if it had, like, not the wings like this, but maybe like that, maybe one wing like that. You know what I mean? So you tilt not just the tattoo a little bit like that, but you tilt the whole body of the dragonfly a little bit. That just makes it a little bit more interesting to watch, and it feels a little bit more alive. And this gets very flat. But linings look very good. And this is the stippling effect on the shades, and I think that's always very cool. I haven't tried that effect that much, and because I usually do all colors. Okay, but this is a cute bumblebee, I would guess. And then you have I think it's the forget-me-not flowers, isn't that correct? And I sort of, like, I like it. I think you see that effect that they had on the leaves there. I love that effect that you have some have outline and some don't, and they're more like shaded a little bit, and that makes it get a little bit of a three-dimensional thing, even though it's not a realistic tattoo. This is very neo-traditional. So, but still, it gets a little bit alive from having lines and not lines. But I wish they would have the same effect on the flowers, just somewhere, because every flower on there is outlined, and there are many flowers. So I just, if they would to, just make a few blurry ones in the end somewhere that didn't have any outline, then that, I think that would be like the last sort of touch that I would sort of ask to get there. Other than that, the bumblebee itself is cute. It's a typical, the neo-traditional thing where it is all about drawing the lines and making the drawing sort of sweet and cute, and it's not supposed to be a like photorealistic. But I think one more thing that I would do is to play even more with the lines and having two different sizes of the lines. That could also work very well here. Yeah, that's it really. If she would come to me and like, oh, just make my tattoo even better, it would just to be that, I think, just to like outline the main shapes that you want to sort of focus on, that are the main shapes, they would have a little bit thicker outline. So then we have this cute little butterfly. This, it's like these last years, I think it's become just very, very trendy to be in your, from 18 years old to maybe 22, 23, to having these very simple, only one single line tattoo, and just hiding it somewhere on your body. And I think that's totally, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I did that also. My first tattoos, not my first tattoo, but some of my first tattoos were very small, just to have this little symbol of something. And often those little symbols are actually the ones that are very meaningful to someone. So I would say the placement is cute. It's a very feminine, hidden little placement to have a tattoo. And I would say the size is okay to have this little minimalistic tattoo. Very simple. I would say it could have been even more like even and, a little more perfected drawing. It's not symmetric. You can see that both the wings are not balanced correctly, but it's so small, so it's actually really hard to make it perfect when it is that small. So it's sort of like I can't critique it when it's this small. But yeah, it's like cute little one-liner tattoo. How can we send our tattoo? It's very easy. You go to the tatchat.com and you can submit your tattoos there.
This is the Tat Chat with Electric Linda.